All right, hell yeah, we got 30 minutes, so let's do this. Damn. 10 jumping jacks, exhale, continue to do more jumping jacks for 10 seconds, and then see how long I can go. All right, here we go. All right, I ain't holding my breath after this thing runs out. Holy hell. So that's only 2 minutes. That's pretty decent. I was actually surprised it wasn't just a minute. All right, hell yeah. So this might be the most uncomfortable video I'm gonna make about rafting, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna simulate what it's like to not have enough breath underwater. And we're going to use this device. This is a can of air. It's supposedly half a liter. Maybe that's 5 minutes max. But they get that from taking a breath, being able to hold your breath. So maybe in a totally calm environment, hell yeah, you can get 10 minutes out of this. Because maybe every time you exhale and breathe in, you can hold your breath for a minute, and you can keep doing that on repeat. So we'll get that into that in a second. But I've done this for safety talks, and I wanted to introduce it to other companies. I just kind of assist with some companies and not too much. Just because mental illness, and I don't know. Maybe it's not that either. Actually, it's just hard for me to get my circadian rhythms where I'm up during the day. But I don't think the information's bad coming from me just because I have mental illness. But anyway, but on a Locksaw trip, I would have my kind of friends there, and then someone else would give the safety talk. That's always good. And then I would come in and be like, you know what I mean? Here's probably the top 3 things that might happen today that we should focus on. Booyah, spend a minute. 10 minutes for a safety talk. That's going to be broad brush. But I do this exercise, the breathing exercise. So you know what I mean? Take a big breath, hold for 10. You know what I mean? Everyone can friggin' hold your breath for 10 seconds. That's super easy. So now, why in a river do things get complicated? Well, because you're working your butt off paddling, you know what I mean, following the commands of a guide, and then all of a sudden your boat's flipping. So you're already in your most kind of like exhausted state, doing peak power, trying to get the boat not from flipping, and then at that moment you're in the water. Okay. Now if you took a big breath before you go into the water, excellent, you know what I mean? You still have put a lot of energy up to that point, but a big breath, you should be able to hold your breath for 10. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. And maybe you don't get a big breath. Like that sucks, that would suck, and that would suck. So we do our exercises are big breath, hold for 10, easy. And then exhale, and then hold this for 10. Okay? So that's going to be number 2. Then we're going to do, 10 jumping jacks. While breathing. And then at the end of the 10 jumping jacks, take a big breath. And then hold for 10, just standing here. Okay? And then the 4th one, 10 jumping jacks. And then exhale on your 10th one. And then hold this for 10. You know what I mean? And then that's the 4th one. The 5th one, 10 jumping jacks. Breathe while doing the jumping jacks. And then hold your breath, big breath at the end. And then do 10 more jumping jacks. Okay, that's the 5th one. Now the 6th one, do 10 jumping jacks while breathing. But on the 10th one, exhale. And then keep doing jumping jacks. Do 10 more. We're going to hold for 10 seconds. So I guess instead of 10 jumping jacks, we're going to do jumping jacks until 10 seconds is up. So each of these are going to be 10-second holding breath. Now, have I ever done this to a group? Hell no. The only ones I've done for a group are big breath in, hold for 10. Because then you just get I'm thinking about, damn it, on some point of this river trip, I'm going to have to hold my breath, and up to 10 seconds, that's crazy. And honestly, it could be 20, depending on what features and what river you're on. And then exhale, yeah, that just like, my mom had a hard time with that one, you know what I mean? And, age and maybe medicine, especially, I'll just say it straight up. When I was on mental health meds, oh, hell no. I was so disappointed in the Swiftwater Rescue. We did buddy system where you're in the water, so it's cold, and then they don't push your head under, but they help you, because else you'll just float to the top. It won't be the same scenario of like, oh damn, I'm like underwater. But you're kind of held underwater, you know what I mean, with that arm and factor of safety, make sure you're squeezed, you're not just going to die and drown. But I was so appalled. I could do 15 seconds. And I was just like, I can't even do 30 seconds, you know what I mean? And even 30 seconds, it's like I can't even do 30 seconds. Like, so 15 seconds, there's plenty of footage of people getting 20 and 30 seconds. It's rare, but hell yeah, if you get sucked under, you ain't popping back up for 20 to 30 seconds. On average, if you go deep, it's probably going to be right in that 5 seconds to 7 seconds, you know what I mean?
Go back, right,
That's going to be your window, but don't overlook the 10-second window.
Nice.
So it's just, for a safety talk, it's just, hey, these things can happen, and we do this. Okay, and then what do I have, a bonus here? Oh yeah, so after all that jazz of like doing 10 jumping jacks, exhaling, and then doing 10 jumping jacks until 10 seconds is up, and I'm just going to see how long I can go. And then we just go for this. So this is like the crap situation where you're just like, I can't hold my breath for, so maybe we'll take a break between that and we'll see what we do for here. But hell yeah, so you're underwater and you ran out of breath because maybe you got pinned or just deep. You're just deep and it's going to take you 30 seconds to surface. And you have no more breath and you can't hold your breath no more. You know what I mean? So this thing is, you know what I mean? And so what we're doing is we're practicing with this to get good at it. You know what I mean? So you're just taking the equipment. You want to know what to expect. And you do have this little purge where you can purge the air. So you can put your mouth on it. But I wouldn't push that purge because it purges too much air too fast. And like I said, I just took a breath, so that might be, you only got 10 breaths in here, we lost one. But there is that, you know what I mean? You can always, you put your mouth on it and then breathe out. That clears the water from this mouthpiece, and then you can start breathing in. So even there, I might maybe take a small breath, just to make sure that the darn thing works. And I would love comments in the comments section of actual scuba divers, because this is a legit scuba tank, and there are elements of this that I haven't taken 100%. Haven't done everything to the letter which a scuba diver would. And one is like, I'm already on about 7 years of this tank, and when I pump it up with the pump, and I'll show that maybe at the end of the video, it has desiccant to filter the moisture out of the air. And I guess you're supposed to at least replace that every 2 years. And so I haven't, and I just don't know if there's moisture in here. And even today, breathing this whole tank in, that might be funky air. There might be some hazardous to your lungs. But just for the sake of it, it's just good to practice with your emergency equipment. So, you know what I mean? Because if you don't practice with your emergency equipment, like I was super shocked the first time I got this and I practiced. I don't practice with it a lot because it simulates dying. You're just like, the second you actually reach for this, you're just like, whoa, I would have been effing dead if I didn't have this. So that's why it's kind of a spooky device to practice with, because it just really simulates it. And that's a good thing to simulate, to be like, whoa, like, how much of this sport do I appreciate, and how much of this sport do I not want to take for granted? You know what I mean? Like, what are my goals in this sport? You know what I mean? Am I okay with the goals that I'm setting and reaching, even if they're higher risk? That's definitely, that gets you thinking. You know what I mean? Because in this environment, you're just in your house and you're just like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? I don't want to die here. But then, I mean, obviously in the river, depending on the situation. But anyway, so, all right, without further ado, let's do our, oh, yeah, and again, I don't know. I had people do 10 jumping jacks and then hold your breath, and then we did 10 jumping jacks and then exhale. Those are the two. In a safety talk environment, I would just do 2. I would hold my breath twice, and the reason I would do that is because there's plenty of rivers where you're either like stuck in a hydraulic, and don't think that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? I was on the Skycomish guide, and there's just just kind of boat-eating holes, and they're people-eating holes. They will not release a person. So we had, I saw 2 people in that hole, and they at least went twice, you know what I mean? And maybe 3 times before they got flushed. So you better be able to hold your breath at least twice. That's why we do the scenario twice. That's why I do the scenario twice. But I would recommend it if you're doing a safety talk and you are cognizant of like, hey, what's actually going to get you? You know what I mean? Well, running out of breath when you're underwater, you know what I mean? There's some certain things that can get you above water, heart attacks and stuff like that. But hell yeah. So anyway, so let's get to it. All right, 2 things. One, this thing could hit my chin, so I do maybe want to put a piece of foam over it. Yep, you know what I mean. And, yep. And what else? And we're going to see, oh, the other thing. Because when I do, if you just panic breathe with this, you got about another 30 seconds. of just what are you going to do? Just panic, breathe underwater? Because you might, unless you're in the scenario where you're just ready to float to the surface. But this device could be really useful for your personal, if you do get entrapped, you're just like, oh crap, I'm totally entrapped, but maybe if I had some more breath, then I can crawl my way, figure out what your other options are. So that's where trying to maintain that control. So that's what I'm going to try to do, try to at least have a system. You know what I mean? Take that test breath, and then take the big breath. You know, and then see if I can get 5 seconds, you know what I mean? And then just, even between breaths, you know what I mean? After that first quick one, you know, we call the second one should be the big first, and then the second. By the third big one, you know, maybe I can hopefully get my bearing, you know what I mean? And I might want to still practice with slowly doing kind of jumping jacks, because the river environment, it's energy robbing. So anything that you do in a house or just an environment like this, it's not energy robbing. So, like, I can hold my breath for 2 minutes, and I'm surprised I can. But yeah, but underwater in a panicked environment, it might be 2 seconds. The 2-second meter hits, and you're just like, no, I do not want to, you know what I mean, lose any more breath. So anyway, all right, without further ado, here we go. Whoa. We got to start over. So I just did the big breath in, hold for 10, but then I just think I exhaled. So those are 2 different scenarios. So okay, we did the big breath in, held for 10. Now I'm going to do a big exhale, hold for 10. So sorry for that. Okay. Yeah, there's a little level of uncomfort there, you know what I mean? But not too bad. Okay, now 10 jumping jacks, take a big breath, just hold for 10. Here we go. Alright, so held for 10. And that's good. I kind of got the dizzy, you know what I mean? Kind of that glaze of, like, you know what I mean? Because you probably want to get closer to passing out and not panicking than panicking and being really far away from passing out. You know what I mean? There's definitely, that's how you get to the 3-4 minute mark. Because your body's just like, no, you need to do something. But you don't have super high levels of CO2 in your system. Okay, 10 jumping jacks, then exhale for 10. All right, here we go. Whew, that sucked. Yeah, it's much harder. That's a good one. You know what I mean? So depending on your group, you know what I mean, if you want the extra challenge, but this is all at your own risk, you know what I mean? I don't know too much about, I hear it's safe to hold your breath, but like in what environment, you know what I mean? Like, is it safe to hold your breath and to do some movements? I mean, but all the literature I've seen is like it's not that big of a deal, but maybe for some it is, so. Yeah, there's definitely that to take into consideration. So all this crap, you just wouldn't see it at a commercial raft company, even in a swiftwater rescue. I was disappointed to see that it's not just standard in a swiftwater rescue course. I was out in Seattle, the company that I work for out there. Hell yeah. They outsource their swiftwater rescue, but that individual, we did the head underwater. You got to experience that. Because if you don't experience kind of that, it's not near death or near drowning, it's just the common scenario that happens. If a common scenario is 10 seconds of downtime, and you have to be in a very specific river like the Gully to actually, get into a scene and then go down, well, you're just not going to get that experience. You're not going to know what it is. And then so during a safety talk, you're not going to know that that's even a danger. Like, I've never been in one of those big recirculating holes. I saw a guy that's closer, you know what I mean? But because I have not been in that scenario, well, actually, no, I did. An easy one. I've been in an easy one, and yeah, you can share the experience of what happens, why it's sucky, but then what are the things that you can do to actually, hey, it might not be too big of a deal. Okay, so that was the first 4. We're going to do 10 jumping jacks, big breath, and then do jumping jacks at a moderate pace until we hit 10 seconds. All right, here we go. And we definitely went just over on that one, so that's good. But yeah, big breath in, hell yeah, you can do a lot. So you should definitely teach that, you know what I mean? Hey, if you hear the word high side, just know, if you hear the word get down, high side, those are times where the boat probably will flip. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell you can hear before a flip? You're not going to hear, you'll be like, paddle hard, it's like, if you hear dig hard, hey, we might flip, that's the reason. And then, and flipping's an okay thing, you try not to, but just know that you might have to prep your body to be like, hell yeah, if we're falling in, it's best just to take a big breath and then get to the surface. All right, now the hard one. And I'm going to take a short little break. I got to use the bathroom. But we will. We're going to do 10 jumping jacks. Exhale. Moderate jumping jacks for 10 seconds. Stop the jumping jacks. See how long we can go before I have to use this. So that's the main event for today. All right. Catch you on the flip side. All right, hell yeah. Now, the hardest thing about using this device is it's just like you feel like if you didn't have it, you would drown so fast. You're like, because I have it and I want to take a breath, I'm going to. And so it's really difficult to get, you just feel like you're like, oh, I wouldn't be able to hold my breath for very long. And that's not a good, that's a skill you can work on. And this is such a good topic, because if your hands up and you're like, yeah, I'm a whitewater rafter, and I don't kayak because my circulation is just hell, and I have absolutely hard time sitting in a kayak. But now my pain situation is just all over all the time, and so maybe it's not that big of a deal, and maybe I should just go 10 minutes of kayaking. You know what I mean? I do have a kayak to go to the lake, so why not just paddle for 10 minutes until I can't, and then call it, you know what I mean? So maybe you'll see me do some more kayaking. And the cool thing about kayaking is that you tip upside down and you're constantly under the water to do your roll. And if you miss it, to do it 3 times. To like just wait something out for 10 seconds and then try your roll. Then miss it and then try your roll again. You know what I mean? All those things take time, and you're looking at 10 to 20 seconds, you know what I mean, underwater with like a big breath. And so you're always, oh, I'm going to tip over. You're always taking a big breath. But the same scenario applies. You could be, getting worked so hard that you get splashed in the face. You're not able to take that big breath. You know what I mean? So then, are you able to, with low amounts of breath, still do the task that you need to do? And then even after that, if you can't do the task that you're meant to do, can you exit your skirt? And this is the crazy thing about kayaking, where this device is so useful, because it's just a hardcore mindset to be a kayaker, getting worked in a hole, being upside down. running out of breath, can't roll up, then exiting, but guess what? You're still freaking in the hole, and then your 30 seconds of downtime might happen. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and that's baller. Like, if you're a kayaker, you know what I mean? Just go. It's so much baller than being, you know, a rafter going for it. You know, because it's two different worlds. Rafts, you're on top of the water most all the time. You know what I mean? So you don't get that opportunity of going underneath the water. So it is a good skill to work on. And I do need to find a partner, just a buddy, that I can do this underwater. Because the scenario is like, hey, how long do you want to go? You know, how much can you go before you think? Because like with holding your breath, they say there's like 3 stages. One is just like, oh hell no, I want to take a breath. So I'm going to put my fingers for that one. But then if you get to that, that's the panic, you know what I mean? But then if you can get to stage 2, you're doing better. And then if you're advanced, you're getting to stage 3. If I put 3 fingers up, it's just for show. I should be passed out by then. But maybe I'll do 1 or 2 because in that scenario, it's like, well, you're dead. But with this, you know what I mean? You're alive, but you're underwater breathing. And I'm not used to that at all. That is such a crap feeling. Nothing worse than feeling like, whoa, simulating drowning, but then being underwater and in that environment. You know what I mean? Mammalian reflex can help you out, but F no. If you're not used to like, oh yeah, I love the mammalian reflex, you know, being like, oh, I'm underwater, so I can just chill out. No. Usually the opposite. I'm underwater and I'm like, this environment suck-ola. So last time I was underwater, 14-foot boat flipped, and I got caught underneath. I couldn't find an air pocket, and then I was just like, just you do you, dude. And then get my hands under, and I was just like, this is good practice too. You didn't get an air pocket, so go get to the side of the boat. And it took a long time. I feel like I took the scenic route. But by the time I got out from underneath the boat, it was 10 seconds. But while underwater, all I was thinking about is someone else would not be able to do this. You know what I mean? So be thinking about that if you're, you know, getting into rafting as a, you know, whether you're the person in the family that's guiding the other people. That's the craziest thing about rafting, is you might have some knowledge and want to do it, but the other people, they want to do it, but they don't want the consequences of doing it. So that was very interesting. And that was not helpful. Not helpful to be underneath the water and be like, and all I could think about is other people won't be able to hold their breath for 10 seconds. So, yeah, that's a little nutty. Alright, so I'm going to restart the camera because maybe we can go for 10 minutes. So I just have to make sure we have enough juice. Alright, catch you on the flip side. Alright, hell yeah, we got 30 minutes, so let's do this. Damn. 10 jumping jacks. Exhale. Continue to do more jumping jacks for 10 seconds. And then see how long I can go. Alright, here we go. All right, I ain't holding my breath after this thing runs out. Holy hell. So that's only 2 minutes. That's pretty decent. I was actually surprised it wasn't just a minute. And that's pretty decent. But hell yeah, I can get to level 1, and you saw me get to level maybe 1.5, but like in a panic situation where you're just like, oh, this sucks, I have a hard time getting to level 2 of like where you're like, I'd imagine like, yeah, where you actually start to kind of shut down motor and start to black out, you know what I mean? Because that helps, because if you start to black out, you're going to use less, that part of your body doesn't really require oxygen, doesn't really care about this big CO2. But yeah, that's the crazy thing, you know what I mean? So I had to go for it right away, but that definitely simulates, that was like 20 seconds, you know what I mean? 10 jumping jacks, didn't have a big breath. I could repeat the scenario where I do 10 jumping jacks, take a big breath. Hell yeah! I could maybe and then keep doing jumping jacks. I could probably get to a whole minute before I needed air on this thing. Yeah, the other aspect of this, I just don't know how bad this air is to breathe. You know what I mean? I might get sick or something just because it's just stagnant air. But yep. But anyway, I'm going to. It's all out, and I'm going to replace the desiccant. You know what I mean? To try to get this get dry air in here. You know what I mean? And then maybe do that a couple. Well, they say actually moisture gets in if you release it fast. So I don't know if normal breathing actually drives moisture in there. But yeah, that's so interesting that these things are just used for like recreational scuba diving. But the other aspect is it's 3,000 psi, and if it did take it, it could blow up right in front of you. You know, so that there is that aspect. I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting device. But all right, I think the main deal is just me using it, holding my breath, 2 minutes. But yeah, now I kind of know. You know what I mean? If you ever get into that totally effed situation where you need a device like this, well, you're practiced up. Like, do I want to practice more? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I might every once in a while, but I'm pretty satisfied. Like when I first got it, yeah, I practiced quite a bit. In the river, you know what I mean, and using it probably every time I went out for at least 5 sessions. But then I just got to the point where just like, no, it literally simulates drowning, which is just emotionally not the best. But like I said, hell yeah, you better appreciate that. I better, you know what I mean? So I understand the ramifications of the sport, the high-risk sport that you're doing. So anyway, all right, hell yeah, I think we're done. Thanks for joining me. And guess what? That's a video.